Hi, welcome back. If you're subscribed, thank you very much. If you're just watching, cool. Do whatever you want. Uh, Going to do my next video with the state of wrestling, and I'm going to focus more on AEW. I am a very big fan of AEW, like I said in my past video. I love everything they're doing. I think it's probably one of the best wrestling organizations going right now. Mind you, I do kind of like Impact. I don't watch it as much as I should, but I do like Impact. I do like Ring of Honor. I watch them quite a bit. I like New Japan and a couple other smaller promotions like Bar Wrestling. But at this point, I'm just going to talk about AEW a little bit. I think the biggest problem AEW has might be one too many cooks in the kitchen. I mean, yeah, Tony Khan is the president, but what do they got? 4 VPs right now? I think Cody is a very, very smart guy. I think he is probably one of the better minds in wrestling in the front office at this point. WWE has a lot of good guys, but there's a lot of bad guys as well, and it's to the point where there's so many steps for AEW or for WWE to get something out. And of course, the gateway is Vince McMahon, and he could change his mind at a heartbeat. And that's always the problem with him. But back to AEW. I just think there are too many cooks in the kitchen. I think every single one of them, the Bucks, Kenny, and Cody, all do a good job. I just think making so many VPs is not a good thing for. I don't want to call them a small company, but they kind of are a small company at this point. They have a pretty good deal with TNT. They're gonna make a second show for TNT to go up against other WWE programming or not. They say they're not competing. They are. They're just not competing full bore with them. I think all 4 of them need to be in the creative at some point, but having those 4 as really equal say is not a good idea to me, because for now it seems to be working really well for them. And hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but this just every time you have multiple people that have equal say in what happens, it will cause problems, it will cause issues, and I just hope I'm wrong. I really like AEW. Enough about the execs for right now, but let's get into more of the actual wrestlers. I think they have probably the best tag division. I know there's a couple other really good ones out there, but I think they have the best tag division in wrestling right now. They got a lot of really good tag teams. There's Private Party, there's the Best Friends, there's Jurassic Express, there's SCU. I even kind of like Dark Order. Wasn't a big fan of them when they came in, but they're growing on me a little bit. And of course, they got the Bucks, probably the best tag team right now in wrestling. Sorry, New Day, in my opinion. Um, But yeah, I think they're doing really good stuff with their tag division, unlike WWE, who really has 3 tag teams on each show that could be champion. More SmackDown than anything. Miz and Morrison has been an interesting little revival. But of course, you got the New Day, you have the Usos. Street Profits, not a fan, but I can understand the allure of them. War, Viking, Experience, Raiders, whatever the heck they're called nowadays. They're a good tag team, just really stifled where they are. They have really, now that I think about it, that's about it, truthfully. I can't think of any other good tag teams. And if I'm forgetting one, I'm sorry. It's just really hard. I mean, WWE programs have been so bland to me for so long that there are times where I just skip Monday nights or Friday nights nowadays. So, But they got really good tag division. I think their heavyweight title picture always looks really good. I mean, when you have guys like Kenny Omega, well, not Cody Rhodes because of the little Jericho thing, but Cody Rhodes, possibly Chris Jericho, Moxley. You have other undercard guys that are really good that I think could very easily challenge for the title and win it, and probably should eventually. They got the Murder Hawk in there recently, and I think he'll win the TNA or TNT title at Double or Nothing. I think that's just it should happen. He could use that title, unlike someone like Cody Rhodes, who really doesn't need it right now. He's got a lot of good things that he could go into. He doesn't really need the title. I mean, they could have Cody and Lance Archer fight over for a while, but and if you don't know, yes, Lance Archer is the Murder Hawk. I just like call him Murder Hawk. Really cool. But yeah, they could have them fight over the title for a while. They could, possibly have Cody and MJF, which that's going to happen eventually, right? MJF is another guy. I really love him as a heel. I think he's really good in the ring. I think he's got a great look, and I think he is probably one of the most underrated talkers in the business. Talkers, look at me. I can barely talk myself. But I think MJF should probably be in the title picture here pretty soon. TNT title, I mean, there's a lot of guys that can line up for that. I mean, you could take Luchasaurus as part of Jurassic Express, easily throw him into either title picture, and he'd be really good in it. I think get him started with the TNT title first, then maybe like in a year or two get him up to the heavyweight title. Really love Darby Allin. I think that guy is just amazing. I think he's really good on the mic. I think he's got a pretty decent head on him. For now, I haven't heard anything controversial about him yet, but we'll see. Then there's Orange Cassidy. I know he is kind of a gimmicky comedy act, but did you guys see what he did with Neville, or Pac as he's calling himself now? He was amazing. I mean, come on. How hard is it to do a lot of things he does with his hands in his pocket? He went a good 5 minutes in the beginning of that match with his hands in his pocket. It's really hard to do. And from my background, just to let you know, I am a former backyard wrestler. It was many moons ago. I was many pounds ago as well. But I did a lot of backyard wrestling. I didn't do anything, any kind of indie scene or anything like that. But, I did that for about 5 years. I pretty much only did hardcore matches, really, because, I'm a horrible wrestler. God, look at me. I'm horrible. I couldn't last against any of these guys for under a minute. But, yeah. But Cassidy, I really love him a lot. I think, it'll take him a while, but I think seeing him as a world champion would be very interesting to see. I mean, there's so many good guys. I mean, you can go all day with that roster. About their biggest weak point, besides what I said about the front office, is their women's division. It's almost non-existent. I know they want to do more stuff with it, but they just don't have the talent. They have a couple good pieces, but they don't really have enough talent. I think someone like Sarah Logan, who just recently got released by WWE, would be a really good pickup for him. She's a great worker. Could use a little bit more mic skills, character development, stuff like that, but I think she'd help him out a lot. Bea Priestley, they had teased her quite a bit, her and Britt Baker type thing, but that never really materialized in AEW. I really like Bea Priestley. I think she would be amazing for him. I think she would be like their version of Paige, but not, I mean, she's such a good worker. I would love to see her, but, as it is, she's making good money overseas. I don't see her sacrificing that just to come over and play in AEW's women division, where she's only got what, one, maybe two people she could really wrestle against. I mean, I like Statlander and all, but again, there's a lot of work that needs to be done there. They have other people there too, but I'm just not a fan. Some of them actually are good in the ring, but you put a mic in front of them, they kind of fall apart. And others, they you can see that they've been on the indie scene for a long time, and they haven't had as much training as someone else, or has grasped that training like someone else. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying that they need more time. And being on a national stage sometimes is not the place where you need to do it. It's one of the reasons why I loved NXT in the beginning before it went to like the USA Network, because it was their developmental. You were supposed to go there and make mistakes, screw up lines, all kinds of stuff like that. You're supposed to learn from it. The way the world is right now, AEW, there's not a lot they can do about it. I mean, I wish they could, but there's just not a lot they can do right now. Once the world settles down and once they can kind of more establish themselves, I mean, they literally are trying to run before they can walk on certain things. And other things, they came out dead sprint and, yeah, hit it out of the park. But the women's division needs a lot of work. I really want to like them, but WWE has a better women's division. Whether they use them right is a different question. But AEW seems to be using everyone pretty good. I mean, they've brought in a lot of retreads from WWE, but a lot of the retreads they bring in are really good wrestlers that just never had a chance or never had anything from WWE. Take Shawn Spears. He's another guy. He's one that I left out of all these title pictures. I don't think he's ready for the heavyweight title, but I think you put him in that TNT title picture and he would do great. I'd love to see more stables. I'd love to see, because what do we got? We kind of only got, the Elite, Inner Circle, Dark Order, and the Triad, or whatever the Lucha Brothers and Pac were calling themselves at the time. I'd love to see more stables. I'd love to see them do like a stable title. But dreams and wishes, Well, thank you for listening to me. If you watched this long, well, thank you. I'll probably do another State of Wrestling again eventually. I do kind of want to branch out into other topics for right now and kind of see what hits. I do have a lot of interest, I'm thinking about maybe my next video being a Yu-Gi-Oh video. If that's something you want to watch, hey, let me know. If not, I'm still going to do it anyway. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.